Olympic history, and that wasn't even the gold medal game. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people thought that was the big one. That wasn't even what they really needed to get to. The gold medal game was the next one that they had to go to. So there you have
it. And they did win, or did Canada? That was the 1 year Canada.
Well, I was just going to say, you're Canadian, so you're all about the hockey action.
They spanked them.
Nah, I actually think Canada was not in the Olympics that year.
they took that Olympics off, right?
Yeah, there was a snowstorm. They couldn't make it. That's left out of the history book.
Very good. Folks, we do have headliner for the Funny Bone, Ivan Decker, joining us in studio. And as you can tell, hey, he's from Canada. But you're from the west coast of Canada.
Yes.
And we were talking about the snow a little bit around here. And you said that you really weren't affected a whole lot by
No, the west coast of Canada, what it is, I'm not a scientist, but apparently it's not as cold there as the rest of the country. It's
really? I didn't realize it
similar
far.
weather to like Seattle and Portland. Like it's just raining all the time. It's cloudy. It's very depressing.
Yeah.
But it's not cold.
Hence the need to go into comedy, right?
Yeah, that's why everybody's like very, get a windbreaker and you can hike and do yoga and like try to feel good, but you'll never see the sun until June.
All right, so being from that part of Canada where you're close to Seattle, do you guys root for any of the United States teams in that area? Are you Seahawks fans and things like that?
Seattle Mariners, that's the closest baseball team. I mean, most Canadians are kind of by default Toronto Blue Jays fans because it's the only baseball team in the country.
Right.
But I had a friend from my high school. He pitches he was a pitcher for the Mariners last year. He threw a no-hitter against the Jays, which was a very hilarious situation in Canada.
Interesting scenario there, huh?
Yeah.
You want to root for the guy who's pitching, but not because they're playing the team that's from Canada.
Yeah, and he's from my hometown, so like I had a Netflix special, and I was like, I'll be in the paper, and then he threw a no-hitter, and I was like, well, nobody cares who I am.
What's his name?
Jamie Paxton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, James Paxton. They call him Big Maple. I think, I could be wrong. I now have stopped following his career out of spite, but I'm pretty sure he's been taken on by the Yankees this year.
Oh, really? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's kind of the big casino. For a small town kid, if you're pitching for the Yankees, you've done something right.
Have people consider that the top of the hill, top of the mountain,
Yeah, them or the Red Sox. They have the most money.
Perfect. Well, how long have you been in comedy?
13 years.
13. What got you into it in the first place?
I started right out of high school. I had gone to like a random stand-up show, and I remember being like blown away because I was from a small town. I'd never seen live comedy before, and then I was in college and I went to a comedy show just like in a cafe. I remember seeing these comedians. I'm like, this is so fun. These people are so funny. But I never thought I could do it. But then I just started I got a notebook and I just wrote down like just dumb little things, and then it all kind of snowballed from there.
Did you do like an open mic night or something like that to start out?
Yeah, so I had to be legal drinking age, 19, to go to the comedy club. So on my 19th birthday, I phoned. I was like, hey, I'm a kid from the suburbs. I want to come tell jokes in your club. And they called me and they're like, yeah, okay, come down tomorrow night. And so I went down. It went okay. And then the following week, they were like, you did okay. You can come back next week. And so I went back the following week, and I was booed off stage.
No way.
No.
What was the problem? What did they get?
I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was kind of a combination of things. The club had billed this night as Crash and Burn Night, was what they called it.
Oh,
so it was like it was like trying to attract people.
They were setting you up
to not have a good time.
Setup right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I started I didn't have very good mic technique. I think that's what it was. Like I was holding the microphone really far away from my mouth, so nobody could hear what I was saying. And then the audience just started chanting, "Crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn," and I was like, "This is not going well."
So what made you even go back then? Do you think you would just put your tail between your legs and sneak out the back door?
I thought it was over because I was like, "Oh, my career's over." Like once you get booed off stage, that's like being fired from comedy. But I walked off stage and the MC was like in the back drinking, and he was like, "What? You think this matters? Who cares?" You care what these idiots think?
So you're saying I got a chance?
Yeah. Just don't quit. That's the secret to comedy.
So how long was it before you went back up on stage?
It was about 3 weeks.
Okay.
I kind of waited, and I called. The club was like, we're gonna maybe go do some coffee shops or something for a while.
Let it chill for a while.
Yeah. So I went back into like the seedy open mic circuit, and then kind of worked my way back up to the club.
Well, what were the topics that you were bringing up on stage? That first of all, did you say you did okay, and then you got booed off stage?
Yeah, I was very like one-linery when I started, sort of like Mitch Hedberg. Like he was my favorite comic at the time back then, and I remember I had like this terrible joke about the shape of the jar that honey and peanut butter comes in, because it was like the shape of a bear. And I was like, I don't know why it's in a bear. I think that means it goes on toast. Like, it was a very stupid,
nobody followed that.
Everybody was like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever heard. We hate you.
Yeah, but they probably remember it, though.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they were right. I was not good.
And what got you over the top then? What finally, do you remember a routine or something you talked about that they finally went, yeah, okay, I get it?
I actually wrote like a really good local joke, which is also a problem because then it's like you can't tour it. But I had a really good joke about like the transit system in my city, and that was one that made people go like, oh, okay, this is, because if you can connect to something that's less national, like if you can really narrow in on something, that's why it's good to talk about like rival cities or like sports teams, something specific to their kind of local system. But my joke was about the bus and our like train system, and people were like losing their mind.
Okay.
But then it was like I went on tour. I'm like, okay, I'm touring. I would go to like another city, and I'd be like, you guys heard of the the train in Vancouver? They're like, no. Boo! Crash and burn. Crash and burn.
So do you still try to localize some things then when you go into the different
Yes,
markets
and that's why I love
so
coming to new cities, because like anytime I come
Des Moines
back,
a new city for you.
Yeah,
right?
I've never been here before, so I'm gonna go for a walk around today and see what I can find. I always try to go on like the Wikipedia page and read about the city and see if there's anything I can springboard off of. Like I was in Omaha a couple weeks ago.
Right.
And, I read that they invented the Reuben sandwich and the bobby pin, apparently. I brought this up, and people on stage were like, we've never heard of this. Maybe Wikipedia is not the best source.
No. Okay,
anybody can contribute to that,
Here's what you're going to do here. If you want to use a source like that to try to find out what's going on in Des Moines and get the pulse of Des Moines, there's a website called CatchDesMoines.com.
Okay.
CatchDesMoines.
Catch Des Moines.
Okay, and you are going to be listed on there. That you're performing and things like that, but it'll tell you the things that are going on and the different sports teams that are associated with Des Moines. We don't have the Toronto Blue Jays or anything like that.
You have a AAA team?
The Iowa Cubs.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously, you know who they're affiliated with, but
let me guess. The Yankees?
No.
So he doesn't have his material fine-tuned for the show yet tonight, but he will have.
Yeah. So what kind of local things do you like to talk about beside the transit system, which, by the way, around here is called DART? Okay.
Okay.
Des Moines Area Rapid Transit.
All right. Okay. Or Uber.
In your case?
Yeah, I like to talk about anything. Like, I love specific restaurants or just like weird things. Like, if I go to some cities, I'll talk about their airport. Just something that everybody.
Okay, so around the Funny Bone over in West Des Moines are specific restaurants over there that people could relate to that have kind of a local flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, that you're looking for some of those, like Tasty Tacos is one that's right over there. It's a local family that owns
Tasty Tacos.
Tasty Tacos, and you'll like them too.
All right.
Okay? It's not too far from where the Funny Bone is.
I'll go in there with a notebook and a dream.
There you go.
See if I can put together some
Got to put together some funnies for tonight. And I've seen you referred to as an artisanal comedian. What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. I don't do. I spend a lot of time on my jokes. I try to make them more like. Like artisanal donut places. Mm-hmm. It's like
They're
it's
fancier.
the same donuts, but you can charge $8. So
the same comedy.
I'm just trying to raise my profile.
Okay, so it sounds a little more sophisticated.
Yeah. Okay. Upper class. No, I don't know. I don't curse or I don't.
Well, that's it. I think that's awesome. You don't have to.
Yeah, I try not to. I feel like if I was cursing a lot on stage, it was because I was trying to fill space for a word that I hadn't thought of that might be funnier.
Right.
So I undertook something a little while ago where I thought I would just take all the cursing out and try to replace it with funnier words or more creative language. And so
that's cool that you did that. Yeah. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then now it's fun because I get people who are like, my kid is a big fan. And it's like, it's cool to have a special that people can watch with their whole family too, right? Like grandma can come in and
doesn't have the E next to it. We can't watch this together.
Yeah. So the whole around the holidays, it's fun when people are like, my whole family watched your special and we all love it.
All right, don't go too far, folks. We're going to take over a little bit of biz, and we're going to come back more with Ivan Decker when we return. There's where you get your tickets there, DesMoines.funnybone.com, or just go over to the West Glen area and get your tickets. Go see the Funny Bone. Go see Ivan tonight and tomorrow. That's when he's going to be there. We'll be right back. This is Iowa Live.